The dinner crowd always brought noise, but tonight it felt cruel. The air in Ridgeway Diner was heavy with greasy smoke, clattering plates, and the laughter of boys who thought the world owed them permission to be awful. Mia Turner, 19, tied her faded apron with a quiet sigh and balanced 3 plates on one arm. She had been working double shifts for weeks, saving every rupee she could to fix her mother's failing wheelchair. Her eyes were tired, but her spirit still held together with threads of stubborn hope. Unfortunately, hope didn't do much against the 3 men sitting in booth 7, the men the entire town called the Vaughan brothers. Big, loud, entitled, and fueled by their father's money, they used the diner like their personal playground. Tonight, though, they seemed even meaner, waiting for a target, and Mia walked right into their line of fire. When she placed their drinks down, Brett Vaughan smirked at her, sliding his foot out just enough to trip her as she turned. Mia stumbled, barely catching herself. The brothers burst into laughter. "Careful, sweetheart," Brett sneered. "Don't want you falling all over the customers. Or maybe you do." His eyes dragged slowly up and down her figure. Mia swallowed hard, pretending she didn't hear it. She'd learned that reacting only made things worse. She quietly placed the plates and offered a polite, shaky smile, but bullies never got bored on their own. When she returned with a refill, Maddox, the biggest of the 3, stuck his hand out at the last second, intentionally knocking the entire glass of cola all over himself. Before Mia could apologize, he grabbed her wrist. "What is wrong with you? Do you have any idea how much these jeans cost?" I'm sorry. It was an accident," she whispered. "You're the accident," Brett spat. The diner fell silent. Mia tried to pull her arm away, but Maddox yanked her closer, slamming her tray onto the table so hard the plates rattled. "Clean it," he ordered coldly. "And maybe we'll think about tipping you more than garbage." She gently pulled her wrist from his grip, her heart pounding. Her voice trembled but stayed soft. "Please, I'm just trying to work." "Work?" Brett laughed. "Honey, what you're doing isn't work. It's begging for pity." Just then Shane Vaughan, the youngest, flicked his spoon against her tray, sending a glass of water crashing onto the floor. Customers looked away, pretending not to see. No one ever stood up to the Vaughans, not unless they wanted trouble. Mia blinked fast, forcing the tears back. She kneeled down to pick up the broken glass, and that's when Brett shoved her shoulder. Not hard enough to injure her, but enough to humiliate. She fell forward, catching herself with her hands, her knees hitting the floor. The diner echoed with their laughter, but the laughter didn't last long, because the door chimed, and a wave of silence swept through the room as a massive brown Belgian Malinois padded inside, its posture alert, focused, disciplined, a working dog through and through. Right beside him walked a tall man in a dark navy hoodie, squared shoulders, and presence like a storm walking upright. He wasn't muscular in the show-off way. He carried the quiet, lethal stillness of someone who'd been trained by realities most people never faced. His boots were worn, his gaze sharp, and the faded trident tattoo on his forearm said everything nobody dared ask. A Navy SEAL. And not just any SEAL. This was Ethan Cole, a Tier 1 operator who had recently returned from deployment after losing half his unit in Syria. People didn't know much about him, but they knew enough. He didn't talk much, he always tipped generously, and his K9 partner, Ranger, was trained to take down armed men with surgical precision. Tonight, neither man nor dog looked in the mood for foolishness. Ethan's eyes narrowed as he saw Mia on the floor, wiping glass with trembling fingers while the Vaughans laughed. He didn't say anything at first. He simply stopped walking. The entire diner held its breath. Ranger's ears perked forward, the dog sensing tension, muscles coiling subtly. "Hey, sweetheart, you missed a spot." Brett kicked a piece of glass toward Mia's face. Ethan's voice cut through the diner like a blade. "That's enough." Every head whipped toward him. Brett rolled his eyes and scoffed. "Relax, old man. Mind your business." Ethan stepped forward, his jaw tightening. "Get your trash off the floor," he said quietly. "She's working. You're harassing." Maddox stood up, trying to look intimidating. "And who the hell are you supposed to be?" Ethan didn't answer. Ranger growled, low, controlled, and dangerous. Customers froze. A growl from a trained K9 wasn't a threat, it was a promise. Ethan finally spoke. "Move away from her." Brett stood up, puffing his chest. "Or what? You gonna call your dog on us? This is Ridgeway, not a war zone." Ethan's stare didn't waver. "Ranger doesn't attack unless I tell him to. But he protects people. And right now," he looked directly at Mia, "he thinks she needs protecting." Mia froze, her breath shaking. For the first time that night she felt seen. Brett scoffed. "We were just having a little fun." "That wasn't fun," Ethan cut in. "That was 3 cowards ganging up on a girl half your size." "You got a problem with us?" Maddox growled. Ethan took one slow step forward. Ranger mirrored him exactly. Ethan's voice was calm, deadly calm. "Son, I've carried injured teammates through gunfire. I've dragged civilians out of burning buildings. I've run into places grown men run away from. You think 3 spoiled brats with bad manners scare me?" A beat of silence. The Vaughns exchanged a look. Then Brett tried to push past Ethan. He didn't get far. Ethan grabbed his wrist with a single fluid motion, twisted gently but firmly, until Brett dropped to one knee with a sharp gasp. Ethan didn't hurt him, just controlled him. "Sit," Ethan ordered quietly. Brett obeyed instantly. Maddox charged. Ranger lunged, stopping inches from Maddox's throat, teeth bared, breath hot, eyes locked. The diner shook with Maddox's sudden scream. Ethan didn't even look at him. "Ranger, hold." The dog froze like a soldier, not attacking, just reminding the bully exactly who was in charge. Shane backed up so fast he tripped over a chair. Ethan finally released Brett and stepped back. "Now," his voice was low, "you 3 are going to apologize to her, then get out. And if I ever see you lay a hand on her, raise your voice at her, or step into this diner with the intention to intimidate anyone, Ranger here is going to teach you the meaning of fear." It took 3 seconds for the Vaughns to break. "Sorry," Brett blurted. "We're sorry," Shane added quickly. Maddox nodded furiously, still shaking. They practically ran out of the diner. Ethan knelt in front of Mia, offering his hand gently, so much gentler than anything she had experienced all night. Ranger sat beside her, nuzzling her shoulder softly. "You okay?" Ethan asked quietly. Mia nodded, breath trembling. Thank you." "You don't have to thank me," Ethan said. "Nobody should go through that alone." For the first time in months, Mia felt safe. She smiled at Ranger, who licked her hand as if saying, "I've got you." And Ethan, the stranger who walked in at the right moment, simply said, "Let me help you finish your shift. You've carried enough tonight." Mia didn't know it yet, but this night was about to change everything.